the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on this Thursday morning. We're glad that you've joined us and you make Auburn Blitz part of your Auburn content, watch, listen, whatever it is that you do each and every day. This is recorded. We'll go ahead and just throw that on out there, Faith. This is recorded. Sometimes we wait 3, 4, even 10, 15 minutes into the show, and we go, oh, by the way, the reason we're not responding to your comments is because we recorded this. So, but we're glad that you're joining us this morning and tuning us in. But again, please comment because we will see that, and we can address those later on down the road. Faith, good to see you again as we get this Thursday started for everybody.
Yeah, it's never ending.
They just run together, man. I mean, literally. Yeah. These days,
I don't know what day it is. I don't know what day I'm supposed to pretend it's supposed to be. I don't even know.
We just keep tracking, man. That's all you can do. Just keep trucking on down the road. Well, I mean, a ton to talk about since we were on yesterday, and Auburn picks up another big piece in the transfer portal. This time in the secondary, and you and I talked about this. And what Coach Free said after A-Day, I'll take 2 or 3 defensive linemen. I'll take maybe a linebacker, and I'll never turn down a good cover guy. And so what has Auburn gotten to this point? They have gotten 2 defensive linemen, a very veteran linebacker, and now another good cover corner to add to this already loaded cornerback room. I mean, Auburn is going out, and we knew what they needed to do, and man, they have done it already. I mean, they've done it in record fashion.
Yeah, they're making things happen, and you've used the saying, "Show me." You're kind of waiting and seeing, yeah. And I feel like just in this off season, between going to spring practices and stuff like that, the portal is kind of a big show me aspect of it. And during this off season, this has played a huge benefit to the show me part.
That's right. Yeah. The show me state was my motto. I'm Missouri, and they're showing me right now in the off season. Yeah. They're going out and filling the voids. And look, not that this defensive back room didn't have a lot of voids. I know we lost some guys, but we know that Tyler Scott was the last one to get in the portal and leave. And, we wish all those guys nothing but the best. They have to make decisions for themselves, but we went through the depth chart. We'll kind of go back and revisit that here in just a minute. But let's talk about Rashawn Pleasant. And knowing he was transferring to a team that had a position group that was loaded, and it didn't deter him from saying, hey, I'm going to transfer. I think this team has a lot of potential, and I think I can come in there and play and challenge and get some reps. And it's going to be hard, but I think he can. And let's look at what he did last year. I mean, let's go back to 23, and he didn't play very much. He only had 5 total tackles. So not a lot of action in 23, but man, in 24, stepped up and had 35 total tackles, 27 solos, had a pick, and 3 pass deflections. So played on a really good Tulane team this past year that, and contributed. Now he comes over. He is a sophomore, so he'll come in as a junior into this team that, Faith, you and I have broken this roster down a million times and talked about the depth. But right now, if you look at what Auburn has in the secondary, especially at the corners, you got 2, I think, outstanding, 2 of the best in the country in Jay Crawford and Kayan Lee coming back. And then you got Blake Woodby, who's a freshman, and you've got Donovan Starr, who's a freshman. And then you have Rayon Strader, and Amon Lane Gaines, a transfer junior and a redshirt freshman. You just got a lot of talent at those positions. And if you want to add Champ Anthony coming back off of an injury in that nickel back position, and then Anquan Fagan's kind of sliding in, maybe backing him up, there are a lot of guys in here that can play. And now you add Rayshawn Pleasant to the mix. This is pretty doggone impressive.
Yeah, I think it's a stacked room for sure. And again, it says a lot about his confidence too, coming in and thinking what he can put towards this program, and knowing how good the guys are that are already here. But coming in and being a junior and wanting to show the Auburn people what he can do, and how he can be effective to this defense. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he has to bring and has to offer to the Plains.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's a couple things or a couple ways to look at this, and a guy that's not afraid of competition. In this day and age, you got people running from competition. They want the path of least resistance, and now you got a kid that comes in and says, "Look, man, I think I can step in here and contribute," and that's great. That only sharpens iron. I think that just makes this room even better and challenges the guys that are in front of it. So we'll see him come in. It's a great addition. So now Auburn has added Caleb Wheatland at linebacker, 3-year starter there for Maryland, over 100 tackles, prototypical 6'1", 230-pound, adds a lot of veteran leadership. You got Malachi Harris, like we talked about, on the offensive line, who's probably going to be a walk-on, like Jason said. But you kind of replace a Braden Joyner there, so you just fill that gap. And then the 2 defensive linemen, Auburn finally made it official. He was committed. We talked about that a few days ago, but James Ash, you sent that over to me this afternoon that he had signed, and made that official along with Jay Hardy. So Auburn, 2 defensive linemen, a linebacker, now a defensive back, and an offensive lineman that they've gotten in the portal really in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, making things happen while they can. You were saying earlier this morning or yesterday, about how
right.
Yeah, about how the portal window is coming to an end, and kind of just is what it's going to be. And yeah, I think all throughout today we've seen a lot of different commitments and stuff like that. So glad that actually things are progressing and it's not just waiting like it has been.
Yeah, and having to settle. I mean, this makes you feel like Auburn's going out. They've made contact. These guys are like, yes, I'm in. They want to be here, and the offer was good, and let's go ahead and get this thing done and not drag around and say, we'll go grab somebody, whatever's left. We'll just add a piece. I mean, these are quality players that Auburn has added. Again, no All-Americans. Let's not try to build this up to be something it's not. But no All-Americans. But again, really solid football players that add in, and they'll get better too. They're going to get coached up and by this staff and all that. So yeah.
And again, it is about gelling with the defense and the guys that are already there and the coaching staff, and how they how they're going to gel all together. And
right.
I'm looking forward to, hearing about all that kind of stuff and how everybody gets along and all that.
Yeah. I hate to get overly geeked up, excited, but man, when you just start putting all this stuff together, we said, we're not going to do this, but then you and I gave our predictions yesterday and we're like, Auburn's up there, either 5 or 4 for us. So we do have high expectations, and we should, not based off prior 3-4 years with losing records, but this roster is making us feel like this team should be up there in the top echelon of the conference. All right. A little bit of their football. We're going to shift over to talk some basketball, but first things first, as we do every day, we want to thank our sponsors. And first up is Cincy Green.
Cincy Green, for air that's cool and clean, call on Cincy Green. They are the carrier dealers for Auburn University and a proud supporter of the Auburn Blitz podcast. I actually was walking into my workout class today, and I saw that there were carrier units that
Look
were
at you noticing that. Look at you.
Yeah, I almost sent you a picture actually too.
Heating and air expert now.
And all I could think about was, oh, I bet Sensagreen installed that. Because Sensagreen is going to save everybody thousands of dollars on carrier unit installation. And it's important that this summer, when it's going to be hot and humid and nasty outside, that your house is going to be cool. You're not going to want to go from the humid outside to the humid inside. So Sensagreen is going to save you thousands of dollars, and go ahead and do it before it's the summer and it's too hot that you're set behind, because they're going to get busy.
Well, let me just say this. You and I and Maddie today, or actually yesterday, as we talked this morning, it was summer. We got a glimpse of summer when the clouds broke and we were on the road for our On the Road show with HSA, and it was burning hot. And if we're getting that in April, can you just imagine what it's going to be like in June, July, and on into August? So you better get with Sensagreen and get that figured out now. Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm in Birmingham, Alabama. Faith, how cool are these guys? I mean, just top notch.
They're so awesome.
They do exactly what you need them to do. And that carry you from the start of the process all the way to the end to make sure the contractors do what they say they're going to do and not cut corners. And they're going to hold people accountable. That's why you hire a consulting firm like Scout Program Management. They will take you from start to finish and make sure your project is done correctly. So check them out in Birmingham. Really, really good people. Sloan, Jay, Charles, all of them, just outstanding guys to help you out. Bunkers in West Glen, we sound like a broken record, but I mean, good Lord, another great food establishment that we're connected to.
I mean, come on, guys. It's one of the best places. Maddie and I actually today were talking about how we want to go to Bunkers. She's only been there, I think, once, but she didn't know about the 27 different sports that they have on there. And so we were talking about either going and playing football. Oh, she was a pitcher. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Maddie used to be a pitcher in softball. And I told her, I said, we were going to go there and she was going to use the softball that they have and pitch into the golf simulator bays. Because again, there's 27 different sports that you can use the bays for. And we're going to head over there at some point, 50 parking spaces. So you don't have to worry about parking downtown or anything like that. And they've got great food, always have happy hour deals. They've got 2 different bars. It's a great time there. And we really love them over there.
I say we just rent the whole top part out and have an Auburn Blitz party and get those 2 bays. And
I think there's 3 up there.
Or 3. Yeah. 3 up top. And then let's invite a bunch of people and let's eat some great food and let everybody do what they need to do on the simulators. Man, that'd be fun. And we got to get that on film. So I'm all for it. I think Alan and KJ and Wes and all them would be fine with that. But go check out Bunkers on West Glen. They are outstanding. So, all right, let's shift over to basketball. Kind of got some news yesterday. And look, we don't wish anything bad on anybody, but sometimes lessons are to be learned in life. And you got to understand in this day and age of trying to cut deals and make deals, and when you commit to something and then you go away from that. And I had just said earlier today that I hadn't seen anything on where CBM is going to land. We heard about Kentucky. We heard about Arkansas. We heard about some rumors on some of that stuff. But I had literally just said today, I went, man, I not heard anything really on CBM. You would think he would have already committed somewhere because everybody is pretty much finalizing where they're going to go. And then all of a sudden we get a tip last night that, hey, I think he tried to come back, and Auburn said, no, we've moved on. And look, sometimes you learn lessons. I think Nico Imialiava, I gave you a lesson on how to pronounce his name earlier or yesterday. And I think what we're seeing right now is that if you think your value is more than what you're getting, then you have all the right in the world to go out there and shop yourself and see. But don't come crying back when it don't work out. That's a big boy decision. You're getting paid big boy money now, and Auburn can't sit around, nor any other school sit around and wait to see what you're going to do. And I think he lost his opportunity, and I don't know where he ends up at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard too when another school is going to have to pay $1 million because you've decided to leave that school and what you're expecting more from them on top of that. I think that's a really bold thing to do. And
he did this last year too, by the way, Faith. This is another thing I think rubs some Auburn people wrong, is he tried to do this last year, and they finally got it worked out, and he came back. And, I think just why can't you just be content and just finish your college career where in a place that people love you and have put up with some of your antics and you're getting a good deal? Why can't that just be good enough?
Nothing's ever good enough for anybody these days, Brett. I don't know if you've noticed that. But yeah, I think it's just really, it's disappointing. And I know I said that earlier this week, but it is disappointing. And it does, I think it does rub a lot of people the wrong way. And so, again, we don't wish anything bad on any of them, but I think, and I've said this too, that loyalty doesn't exist, but to know that Auburn, at least in the coaching staff, respects their own, what they deserve, I think that says a lot about our school. And I really, really like that, just because I like the way that they said, no, you wanted to go. You think you are worth more somewhere else?
Well,
let me see.
Yeah. I mean, again, you have all the right to go try, but don't think we're going to just be sitting here waiting for you to come back, and we're going to just.
I mean, you've seen the guys that we've picked up.
Well, Keyshawn, I mean, look, I sent that to you. I pulled the portal rankings, and I think Chad Baker-Mazar's ranked like 24, 25 in the portal. Keyshawn Hall, who is going to take his position, is ranked 20th. So I think it came down to a situation where Auburn and Chad Baker-Mazar had already reached an agreement. Did you choke on? Went down the wrong pipe. Went down the wrong pipe.
I was like, oh gosh, I just saw that flash before my eyes.
Yeah, we don't want to see you choke out on air.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're good. So you breathing good now?
Yeah, I'm okay. Just woke me up, that's for sure.
There you go. There you go. Woke me up too. I was like, I think she's about to pass out. But anyway.
I might have.
Well, I'm glad you're good now. But Keyshawn Hall, I think, I don't know what it came down to, but apparently what we were told is that Chad Baker and Auburn had already had an agreement, maybe even before the Final Four. And then you come back and he knew what Auburn had to replace. He knew Auburn was going to have to replace Janai Broome and Dylan Cardle. Going to have to try to hang on to Tahad Pettiford. So if you work out a deal and then you come back from it and say, no, I'm going to go ahead and get in the portal anyway, and I'm going to see what my market value is, well, then don't expect us to just hang around and wait for you to come back if it doesn't work out. And so that's where he is now. And I think Auburn may have told him they've moved on, and I don't know. I don't know that it's the end of it, but it sounds like it to me. And so, again, big boy decisions. You have choices now, and you got to reap the rewards or suffer the consequences, whatever happens. And again, we don't wish him nothing but the best and hope he lands on his feet somewhere. And I think he will, because he is a highly rated player. He is an older veteran player, but he does have some baggage. Let's just be honest about it. I bet you that's what's playing into whether some of these schools want to take a chance on him, because of the stuff that he comes with or comes with him, the antics that he pulls. I mean, we've watched it for 2 years.
Yeah, and the $1 million that they're going to owe Auburn.
And that's another thing. I mean, Nico Imialiava's brother that was at Arkansas got in the transfer portal, and I think Arkansas is like, no, man, you ain't doing this. You signed an agreement. And what you're going to start seeing is, will Auburn try to hold Chad Baker-Mazara accountable for breach of contract? I mean, I'm not saying they will, but that's about to start happening. These universities have to protect themselves. And if they're signing deals behind the scenes, I don't know how it works right now because I don't think anybody does. But if you're signing deals or contracts and then you say, "No, I'm going off and I'm going to do something else," I think you're going to see some of the hammer fall on some of these guys, and it may change. Somebody's going to be the example, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know who it's going to be. It could be.
Yeah, I don't know who it's going to be either. And I feel like I say this all the time, but I'm like, I hope it's not somebody at Auburn or from Auburn. But yeah, I mean, you think about it just like the kid from Wisconsin, how it's like a work deal.
That's what it
is. Okay, well, if it's like a work deal, don't you normally have to if you breach your contract or you're
responsible for that.
Okay.
There's repercussions for that.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
I don't either. So anyway, just a little tidbit of info there. That was swirling around last night. So we thought we would talk about it a little bit and kind of give our take on that. All right. What about the Auburn Tigers in golf?
Yes.
Getting things done. Record-setting round there to take the early lead at the SEC Championship. As you're watching this morning, Auburn's already teed off at 7 a.m. And then in a pairing with number 7 LSU and number 17 Texas A&M to advance to match play. The Tigers must stay in the top 8 following the round on Friday. So, but off to a phenomenal start here as you look at their scores, and looks like Brendan Valdez, who you just interviewed, really good. Several other guys for Auburn scored well, but you're going to have to keep the pressure on. It is a loaded field right now. Auburn at 16 under, LSU and Texas A&M are both 9 under. That's who they'll be paired with. And then Oklahoma at 6 under. Florida comes in at 5 under, Alabama at 4 under, Georgia at 3, along with Mississippi State, Kentucky at 2 under, South Carolina at 2, and then you have plus scores the rest of the way out. But Auburn with a substantial lead there of 7 strokes going into day number 2.
Yeah, crazy. If you guys want to know what the guys do just to keep themselves in the team mindset, you can go watch my interview with Brendan, because
what a good segue that was.
Thanks. Because he kind of gives everybody a little example of what they do to keep the team mindset throughout.
Shame on the people that haven't watched that already, by the way. Yeah, and I'm talking to all you guys out there. If you haven't seen that interview, I mean, what are you waiting on? Go do it as soon as we get off the air. I mean, it's such a great interview, and another one will be coming out tomorrow, Faith. If you want to preview that real quick, since we're talking about your series.
Let me dive right into it, if you will.
Just
so good at this.
You are on a roll.
Thanks, I try. Yep. This is after hours, so what can I say? My brain is really running.
Well, it's like really popping. Maybe we need to start doing these things at night.
If that means I can sleep in, maybe. But
okay, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, tomorrow it's going to be from the Auburn swim and dive team. I'm going to have Grant Davis.
Let me dive right in. That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
That's good stuff.
He's a distance swimmer. And just to let y'all know, that is 62 laps, I want to say, in the pool. So you guys can figure out how he stays motivated during those 62 laps, what song he likes to sing over and over in his head. Yeah, y'all can hear all about that tomorrow when it comes out, which it will be scheduled to come out at 2 because finally we figured out a way for it to come out on time.
Gotta love technology.
What?
Gotta love technology.
Oh yeah. I don't know. So that'll be out at 2 tomorrow.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. So make sure you check that out on our Auburn Blitz YouTube channel right here. The one you're watching. You are watching on Facebook too as well, but make sure you tune that in on at 2:00 tomorrow. All right. Josiah Gilbert led the charge with a 6 under and 4 under on the front. Jackson Coyven, the SEC individual champion from last year, 2 back of Pope with a 3 under 67. Brendan and Carson both ended up 68 and 69 respectively and sit inside the top 25. And so, again, a great start for the reigning national champs in the Auburn Tigers as they're already in postseason play again. I mean, we talked to Coach Kleiner the other day when we were there and you were interviewing Brendan, and it's just like, man, it looked like we just blinked and they were at Toomer's Corner for the celebration, and now they're back in postseason play again. So leading the charge with another great start there at SEC play. So let's talk about more of our partners here in Sure Shot in Alexander City, Faith.
Yes, Sure Shot for all your firearms, apparel, and hunting needs. They sell and trade new and used firearms. They're just up Highway 280, not far from Auburn at all. But yeah, they definitely are the place that you're going to want to go. I know turkey season is ending. Brett, we've talked about that a lot. So going over there before the end of turkey season, they're going to be having a lot of good deals all the time. So make sure you head on up to Sure Shot. They're going to have you covered over there. Great people. 256-329-0080.
Can't say enough good things about them either. Your go-to place here on the Auburn Blitz for all your outdoor needs. Oliver Ross.
Oliver Ross for your party from 20 people up to 20,000 people. Oliver Ross is going to have you covered. So like we always say, why would you do it yourself when you can pay somebody else to do it for you? Whether it's a fraternity party, sorority party, or just any party that you're deciding to have. Oliver Ross has certified and licensed bartenders that they can take care of you and your crew instead of you messing up and getting it all over yourself.
No doubt. And we don't just say that lightly about the 20 to 20,000. Legitimately, Mark told us about major conventions and events where there were 20,000 in attendance, even more. And they handled the entire service. So they can handle whatever size party, all the way down to a small private party, like Faye said, a 20 up to 20,000 if you got some type of massive event going on. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. They're doing a job on that. They do some really good stuff, and they give you some tips on some drinks on what to make. So check out Oliver Ross, and we'll get to some more of our great partners here in just a little bit. All right, let's shift over and talk about NFL draft projections. The draft is tonight at 6:00, and what Auburn players are going to get drafted and where will they be drafted. I'll say this, it's about time for Auburn to start getting more players drafted, and it tells you a little bit about the roster status the last few years when you look down and really just a couple, 3, 4 that have a legit shot of getting drafted. And if you're only getting those numbers, Faith, year in and year out, it's not hard to believe the results that you've been seeing. I mean, it just translates into, well, you just didn't have quite the talent to be a winning program or at the top of this very, very tough league in the SEC. All right, so let's start with Jarquez Hunter. He is the he and Keandre Lambert-Smith are the top two guys, I think, for Auburn and to have the best chance to get drafted. And it's kind of all over the map with Jarquez, anywhere from the 4th round all the way to a late draft pick in the 6th. But most publications and simulated drafts feel like he will be drafted somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Baltimore. Just wear your seatbelt. Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Dallas. There's several teams there that really are looking at Jarquez Hunter. Keandre Lambert-Smith, I thought, was one of the better receivers in the country.
I did too.
And ESPN has him undrafted. I mean, man, I
don't know about all that, but what do I know?
Well, obviously, the same amount that I do, because I would not say that he's undrafted, but as high as maybe a 5th round pick to San Francisco, according to CBS Sports. Also, maybe to the Jets in the 5th round, or as late as a 7th round pick to New England is projected by the Sporting News. All right, Eugene Asante. I think you and I both really like Eugene. His attitude, what he brings to the table. I think he will make a very good NFL player for somebody. He's also projected to be a late 6th, 7th round type guy. But I know you had a chance to be around Eugene last year, and he just kind of brings a very positive vibe to the team.
Yeah, the energy is something that is unmatched with him. Great guy, overall, really hard worker. Always seemed to remain super positive during the negative times last season. But yeah, I really like him, and I think he's going to do well. And he is just one of those people that he's going to fit in just fine wherever he goes, and very coachable, and he's adaptable.
You know, all these guys we talked about so far have great personalities, very likable guys, true team guys. And right. the last one, Jalen McLeod, most have him undrafted free agent. One publication has him as a 7th round pick to the Miami Dolphins, and that's CBS Sports. But Jalen, I think the motor he has, maybe a little bit undersized, is why he's getting put in that category of a free agent draft. Or I think, you know, again, he can work his way maybe onto a practice squad and then maybe have a chance to make a team. But that's really it. And, you know, Auburn, that narrative's got to change. I'll end with that. That narrative's got to change. You can't just have 4 guys that you think are going to get drafted, and a majority of them are late picks. I mean, we don't even have anybody in the first 2 or 3 rounds projected.
Yeah, I think that narrative has to change, and it has to change this year.
I think you got some guys coming that's going to change that narrative. I mean, you just look at this roster, and bottom line, it's not rocket science. You got to have the players to be able to win the games and to be able to compete at the highest level. All right, a couple more things. Auburn baseball, Faith. What a crazy 1-0. You never see that anymore. A 1-0 win yesterday, or day before, actually, against Georgia Tech. We didn't even talk about it yesterday. We had so much that we were talking about. But a 1-0 win, and it was Cooper McMurray walking home. I mean, yeah. That was the only run scored. So the pitching was phenomenal for Auburn, and that's what Coach Thompson's been talking about. And, you know, Jason talked about it on Tuesday on the show, but Christian Chatterton really pitched well. And then John Armstrong and then Carson Myers, and all combined to shut out a very good Georgia Tech team. And Auburn sweeps Georgia Tech this year. Last week went over there to their place and won a kind of a shootout game, and this was a pitching duel, and Auburn was able to hang on and win 1-0. So they play Mississippi State this weekend. Mississippi State comes in at 6-12 in league play at the bottom, so better take care of business here. Better win this series.
Got to take care of some business, some serious series coming up.
Big time. That's
one game at a time, Brett.
Winnable series there for sure. So that's going to wrap us up. We got a couple more partners on the program we want to talk about here before we let everybody go. And then we hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day here on a Thursday. But Old Number One Customs, Faith, you kind of termed this slogan, so I'll let you have it.
Why would you DIY it for 2 years when Old Number One Customs could DIY it, could do it?
Well, they can DIY it, but it'll be done right.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Your wife is going out on a trip. You tell her to leave for 2 weeks and you want to DIY it, and she comes back and the whole kitchen is ripped out.
I just got to ask you again. You say this. Who is going off on a 2-week trip, by the way?
I don't know, but whoever is, please invite me next time. That'll be all my 2 weeks that I get to call out for. So.
Could use all your vacation at one time.
Yeah. No, but why would you do that? She's going to come back all well rested and freak out on you. And guess what? You're probably not going to want to deal with that. You'll want to ship her away for another 2 weeks for Old Number One Customs to come in and fix your damage, which is going to cost more money in the long run.
Right.
So just go ahead and call them and figure it out.
Yeah. Quit being a disappointment to your wife and prove to her that you can actually do something right and not screw it up.
I like that. Quit being a disappointment to your wife.
Quit being a disappointment, because your wife's like sitting there going, look, he's going to screw this up again. He thinks he can do it better than everybody else. And then you just got to hire professionals like Old Number One to come in and clean up your crap. So that's just how it works. But so just kind of prove her wrong. Hey, look, let's take the next step, everybody. Show her that you can actually make a good decision and choose Old Number One Customs to come in and renovate. So there you go. All right, JFA Blue Plumbing. Pretty easy number to remember.
844 JFA Blue. I don't care what anybody has to say. Water is going to damage if it damages your sinks, your showers, your toilets, your dog bowls, and starts growing mold, guess what? Right. That means it's damaging. And if it's doing that to all those things, those aren't minerals. It's toxic. So guess what? Go ahead and get a water filter where you don't have to deal with that. Because if it's not JFA and their water filter system.
Why do you think they sell them, people?
I don't know. But all I have to say is my hair turned pink. And I realized this hard water is awful and damaging. So a nice water filter system is not only going to help with my hair, but also when I'm drinking the water, it's going to help with that too. Hello, come on. So just call them. It's an easy number. Like I said, 844 JFA Blue. So
everybody's an expert. Everybody's an expert.
Yep.
That's all I'll say.
Just like we were in all of our NFL analyzing.
That's exactly right.
Predictions.
Yep. Okay? Everybody's an expert. But yeah, call on JFA Blue. The Atlas Duo whole home water filter. That means everything in your home gets filtered.
Your shower, your toilets, your sinks, everything. Okay. Not just the thing that comes out of the fridge, because who knows about that.
That's right. So just do it. $15.99 with 0% down, as low as 3.99% APR if you need to finance it. But hey, look, great health is that is a very small price to pay for very clean, pure drinking water. So JFA Blue Plumbing, as Faith said, 844 JFA Blue. Who cannot remember that? All right. So great partners all up and down. We are so glad to be associated with every one of them. And so please go out and frequent them and reach out to them. Tell them Auburn Blitz sent you, and they may even give you a discount. I don't know. I don't hold that again. Don't come back asking, say, hey, look, I went and called them and they didn't give me a discount. I'm just saying, if you tell them Auburn Blitz sent you, they may hook you up with something.
They might write a sweet note when they do their water filter system exchange for you.
Right. So they may be in a good mood that day when they come out. So, but we really appreciate it. Faith, busy day for us today, as always. I feel like that's a broken record too.
Yes, it is. But guess what? We're out here grinding.
That's right.
Well, other people, and
not begging for better deals when we have things laid at our feet, right? So we're going to go out and do it the old-fashioned way, the old quality American way, and we're going to go work for what we get. So, but hey, look, really appreciate all the subscribers. If you have not subscribed, go subscribe, hit the like button. We appreciate it. It helps us out tremendously, and spread the word as all of you are doing. Again, tune in the NFL draft tonight. A lot of things going on, and we'll be back with you tomorrow right here at 8 o'clock for more Auburn Blitz podcast, and we will be on location. We'll be on
tomorrow
location tomorrow at noon. We'll be
so
down.
Everybody stay tuned.
Absolutely. We're going to have more information on that, so you just have to wait and see. All right, everybody.
Best day ever.
There you go. Have the
I hope
best
that
day
you
ever.
weren't going to cut me off where I couldn't say it.
Oh, no. I was actually getting ready. Like, you are so far ahead. Like, you're like on a 2-second delay in the morning. You and I
know.
talk about that.
Well, that's why I was trying to like not be on my 2-second delay so that like my brain
me off. You're like
it
on
was
fast
turning.
forward. You're in fast forward mode tonight, which is this morning.
What did I say?
Just popping off the one-liners and everything, man. Just
thanks.
All right, but we're not moving tonight. Okay, so this is not a ploy to try to get us to not do it in the morning. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, probably
that was a good try, but it's not going to happen. So, all right, as Faith said, have the
best day ever
and a big old